Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on a Saturday morning. Just आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि एक और मिनट दीजिएगा ताकि सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स आ जाए.
I'm audible. Morning, partners. This is Ashish. I have Malhar and Sarthak with me. Very, very good morning. Just confirm if I'm audible. Okay, lovely. And my screen is visible. Malhar?
Yes, sir. दोनों स्क्रीन.
Okay, okay. Just another minute and we'll start. कहाँ से हैं आप लोग? Where are you from? I can see some name and I don't want to guess, but I can see some people from East if I can understand. Uh, Gorakhpur. Yeah, okay. I saw Devjani. Devjani is a very, very prominent name in Calcutta. Yes, see, my guess was right, right? Morning, Malhotra ji. Tenali is where? Surya Prasad ji, Tenali is which part of India? I know it should be south, but which it's closer to which city? Belgaum. Everyone, Madhushri ji, hello to Trichy. Kirti ji, I've got a very close friend who's from Belgaum, is my next door neighbor. So we have some connection there. I think we'll start. You good to go, Malhar?
Yes, sir. It is 10:34, 10:35 हो गया, sir.
All right. So yeah,
जी.
small apology. I'm hoping it is a small one. It stays small. We'll make up for it during the session. So welcome to the session. We call it Udaan, and it's named aptly keeping in mind that you are new to the industry and you are starting your new Udaan, and from not just from point of view of business, but hopefully a phase of life for you also. We come across, I've been in industry for long, and earlier there was a very, very typical profile of partners in MMB distributors. Now it is very, very varied. We are seeing a lot of, women participants. We are seeing a lot of retirees, people who are basically, taking it as a profession. So age is something that cannot be the barometer. We are seeing very, very varied kind of people with varied background, which is a great thing because that's how we'll be able to improve the coverage. And our industry needs more and more partners. And the intention of this program is to say hello. It's a handshake. It's not a training. The idea is to share enough information for you to know about us, the industry, and from HDFC perspective, as we are kind of joining you as if I can use in the right context, the partner in crime. We basically are looking at introducing you to all that we offer to help jointly serve our common customer, which is our investor. Some small ground rules. Keep the chat box interactive. Post your specific question in the Q&A box because that kind of helps. If we are able to answer during the session, we would love to do that. And if there are some queries where we are not able to answer for whatever reason, in the Q&A, your specific query stays with us and we can always answer back later. And at the end of the session, we'll share a survey. Do share us your feedback. That always helps us Some of the previous surveys have pointed out to few things that we were not doing properly. And today also, I'm sure there'll be a lot of scope for improvement for us, and your feedback will help us. Malhar will be sharing a lot of information along with Sarthak during the session in terms of a lot of links which will be related to our specific digital app for which we are assuming Malhar, they've been all pre-registered.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. In case you find any problem, I'll encourage you to download the app during the session itself, because there is one session which happens on our digital offering, which kind of helps you in not just showcasing our all digital assets, but specifically it will focus more on our Connect app, which is a wonderful engagement tool for you. I urge you to kind of download that. Later on, so you'll find it very, very interesting tool for you to engage your client, build business, and communicate to the customer, do social media posting and everything. With that, we start the session. Keep it engaging. We'll try and be as interactive as possible from our side. The flow of the session has been shared. Initial 10 odd minutes, I'll speak about the industry, about HDFC, some small trends. My sense is you'll be knowing a lot about it already. The fact that you are here, but we'll still reiterate some, and specifically we'll speak something about our offering, at a holistic level from our organization perspective. The next session is around introducing you to our product and investment side of business. We'll kind of give you overview of our product bouquet and a brief peep into how our investment process work, how risk management is done at our end, and we'll try and top it up with some kind of a view on the market. And if there are any questions around specific, market view or some schemes, we'll try and take it up given the constraint of time. Then the third session is of our digital offering, which basically I was talking about earlier, talking about all digital assets in specific to larger focus on Connect and how it can serve you and your customer. And the last session, which is a very important one, tends to get little, I'm not saying boring in the again in the right context. I'm suggesting that servicing part usually people kind of take a backseat there. But I would urge you to stay longer and learn about that, because that's how you serve your customer. And there'll be portion of that session which is about distribution servicing in terms of what are the tools and features and functionalities that we have to serve our distributors. With that, we'll get going. I'll keep it short because more interesting sessions lie ahead. And Malar and Sarthak are there to answer your queries, and they'll keep posting interesting links, as I said, about some of the regulatory expectations from our new partners in terms of the FAQs, the do's and don'ts for the distributors. Staying compliant is a very, very big part of our business these days. Mis-selling is essentially has taken a much more bigger proportion from a oversight point of view. So that also, those are the kind of things we'll capture in the chat box. So let's get going. Malar, my screen is moving, right?
Correct. Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay, okay. Just a second. So this essentially is, I won't say sum and substance, but this gives you a very, very, very good overview of what has happened to the industry, to the larger financialization story, digitization story, retail participants in capital market, in general financial services. Mutual fund industry has been around for very, very long time, started, way back in 90s. And the growth has been very, very good right from the start, because from a smaller base perspective, the growth was even good in the 90s, early 2000 also. But what has happened specifically in the last decade or so is nothing in short of revolution in terms of, and not just from the point of view of profitability for us or maybe business or brokerage for you, but from a larger perspective, the whole formalization of investing and participation from retail investor and the way people have come to join the growth of the economy through mutual funds in capital market. There cannot be more stronger, set of data point. So just see from 2011, where we were 4 lakh crore at industry level, standing at almost 72 lakh crore. There's a growth of 18x, and it has been very, very steady. We have seen a lot of ups and downs in the markets in terms of local regulation, world development, geopolitical issue. And if I stretch back the data to even early 90s, the growth kind of trend will look the same. But the last decade and a half has been amazing, and amazing, as I said, not from a business perspective, but from the whole idea of getting more and more investors to participate in the growth of the company, and also helping them realize their dreams through right investment choices. So kudos to you for having joined this journey. This is looking very, very good, but I think the future is even brighter, because while we are talking about growth and compounding being very, very amazing, the penetration is still very low. Not very low, I would say it has improved significantly, but compared to the global peers, and specifically the more developed peer group, there is still a lot of penetration yet to happen. So humongous opportunities and for business, and at a very, very larger level, how we'll serve our customer in a meaningful manner. This again is so initial few slides are these data points. This is a reiteration of how the industry has grown, more so in the recent years, where we stand today, almost 72 lakh crore at an industry level, with equity being almost 41 lakh crore of the whole AUM basket that we have. As a percentage, equity has been gaining more and more strength. It used to be much lower when I started the business. Debt used to rule the mutual fund world. It has changed drastically and significantly more so, with more retail participation, and capital market performance doing well. But over a period of time, you'll realize all asset class have their ups and downs. Right now, equity is looking very, very good as a composition. Debt will have its own day, but overall, equity has as a contribution or a composition of our industry AUM has gone up very, very significantly recent time. And from a success point of view, the last three rows are the biggest success point, more than the numbers. As I saying, the participation, individuals now account for far more, greater significant portion of the industry AUM, and this has been made possible by this whole revolution around SIP. This Choti Choti Bachat Yojana, systematic investment plan, the numbers of investors that we are getting through SIP, and because that's the best way to get into markets for smaller investor over a period of time. You will realize that this revolution is just bottom row actually kind of captures the real revolution that we are talking about in terms of the participation part. The number of investors, while they have grown from nothing to almost 5.5 crores, the penetration, as I said, still leaves a lot of scope for increasing the participation, where participants like partners like you will come in and help us, improve the penetration further and participation further. Screen is got frozen. Yeah. Well, I'll just keep telling you, I'm just facing slightly, jerky motions on my laptop. My screen is changing, right? The slides are moving.
Yes, sir. Abhi just
Okay.
uh,
So this is again a reiteration of that, and here again I would reiterate the point. Other than the size, the participation for smaller investor and smaller investments like SIP. You can look at the last graphic, which basically is talking about the participation which is coming from small towns. So this participation and this whole revolution actually has been propelled more than the top cities, top 8, top 30 as we call it, T30. It's the bottom beyond 30 cities as we call them. That is where the participation is coming from. In terms of we keep hearing statistics from our customer service team in terms of the kind of pin code service, the mapping that we have. It has gone significantly up, and we are now serving investors from almost like, I don't know, 99% plus pin code from India. So this is where the real growth has come in, and I think this is very good sign for all of us. And this is a bit of topping on where how HDFC AMC from a number perspective have grown. We stand at 8 lakh crore, and I'll show in the next chart how this specifically the AUM growth has been very stupendous, and we have participated equally well as among the top three player of the industry. The significant portion of our AUM comes from equity, just like industry, but we might have slightly higher proportion of that because our funds over a longer period of time have created a lot of wealth, and participation in the brand and our presence across the country has ensured that we've got much more retail participation than many of the competitors, along with some of the other ones who also participated. But I think names like HDFC, some of the bigger names have got more retail traction, and more than the numbers, where we are getting those numbers from also plays a part, and which is where our consistent expansion beyond digital, which is the branch expansion network. You can see we have around 280 branches right now, and which will help us not just serving you but also serving more number of investors as we go along. This is again reiteration of what has happened at HDFC from the point of view of the AUM slide here is a little dated. As I said, we are closer to 8 lakh crore. The profits have been thanks to more participation and good composition of assets. They've also tracked the growth of the AUM. And as a journey perspective, you can see, I'll just pick up a few of the interesting tidbits from the bottom of the slide. As recent as 2016, our AUM was not only 2 lakh crore, only we are suggesting now because 8 lakh crore is a bigger number, but 2 lakh crore itself was a big number. But it was, we're almost talking as if yesterday we were there, and it is like in the last more than less than a decade, it is quadrupled. To 2023, we were at 5 lakh crore. In 2025, at the start of it, we were talking about 8 lakh crore. So it's been nothing sort of extraordinary, but this also gives एक हमारे ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी भी इसकी आती है, इतना लोगों का पैसा आ रहा है, इतना पार्टिसिपेशन आ रहा है, so हम लोगों के लिए एक and we as a brand also we are very conscious of the responsibility being bestowed on us. In turn, we think it is your responsibility also that more and more investors are coming. They should have a good experience. They should have much more compliant distributors who deal with them, and those kind of experience will not just enhance their their success with us, but also the wallet size will keep growing. A little bit more about what is our offering. We call them 7 pillars of our offering: people, products, performance, processes, partnership, platform, and pedigree. Products, my colleague in the next session will cover basically our product bouquet, what we offer, our investment process, including the performance of some of the key products that we offer. And also we'll be covering in the later part of the session the partnerships that we have built over a period of time, which will include with people like yourself. But in a nutshell, these are the 7 pillars on which our success rests on. Starting with as I said, people will talk about the team behind the business. We can't I'll capture in the next slide. We rest on the our whole success has been built on the shoulders of the brand of HDFC, which has been in existence since 1977. We take a lot of pride and feel a lot of responsibility when we talk about business in terms of not just the size of the business, but the responsibility that got bestowed on us once we start marketing, the brand. And this brand on its own brings a lot of seriousness for us from a point of view of what we take out to the market in terms of how we offer it, from the point of view of processes we follow, the ethics of the business, and these are all genetically in kind of infested in us through the group that we are part of. And HDFC on its own has had its longest journey in the industry market. It is a pride of India from a corporate a success point of view. But from the other point of view of increasing financial participation, the group has beyond the initial starting point of the HDC Limited business, which was a housing finance business. We are now the group now comprises of bank as the larger entity after the merger, and then the participation of the group in the whole financial services business is there across all the vectors of business, which include life insurance, securities, mutual fund, NBFC, which is just getting listed as we speak, general insurance, and the private equity side of the business as well. As I said, the group has a long history of being a very conscious governance, participant in the industry. We take the same responsibility in with a similar gutso. HDFC Mutual Fund on its own has a very high, very high pedigree in terms of how we offer our products and services, while keeping in mind our commitment to the society in general. The highest accolade we have got recent times is through our cancer care fund series, जिसके अंदर हम लोगों ने almost more than 13,000 patients को through this offering serve करा है, and this is an ongoing effort. Other than that, whether it is related to nature preservation and other ESG effort, we keep on doing, and this is the highlight of our offering beyond the business that we kind of conduct on a day-to-day basis. This is the team behind the business. Navneet is our MD and CEO, veteran of the industry. He comes, needs no introduction. Very accessible person. He happens to be the chairman of AMFI also. So he takes a lot of responsibility from a growth and participation of the industry perspective. Beyond Navneet, we have a very high pedigree team. People with long track record with HDFC, and the recent ones that we have added to the team come with very interesting and varied background, which kind of captures the need of the industry from a future growth perspective. I'll let my colleague Amey talk about more about this, and from a point of view of it's a very storied team that we have, a large set of team members led by Chirag on equity side and Shobhit on the debt side. There are a lot of senior managers who manage, we have more than 100 schemes, including active and passive. The good thing about the team is the very nature of their style and independence, that with independent way that they manage the schemes, which kind of gives you a very different choices across debt and equity, and within debt and equity, different style of choices that you get, because the fund managers, while they follow similar philosophy around picking the stocks or debt securities from a point of view of coverage as well as risk management, but their own style and the scheme objective kind of decides how they construct the unique portfolios, and that is held very strongly by our analyst team. We keep meeting so many of them, and they've been around with HDFC for very long time. So our whole team, outcome stands on the shoulder of our analyst team, and these are very experienced set of people, and many of them over a period of time have become fund managers for also. So we take a lot of pride in the quality of team and the process that they follow. And lastly, this is what we bring on table from our whole partnership that we have built over a period of time. Our presence across industry, in terms of our branch network and product suite. So as I said, this slide on its own kind of covers the three of those P's, which is partnership, presence, and our products, and performance point of view. We are spread across 280 locations. While we are growing very, very strong on the digital side with the advent of AI and everything, those are the kind of things getting employed. But we also believe our industry needs a lot of hand holding, and our presence in smaller towns is something that we take very seriously from the expansion point of view, not just from the point of view of growing business, but also serving partners like yourself. So we'll continue to grow physically. Product, as I said, more than 100 offering from our side at a very granular level. These are many, many products, but from a larger message point of view, is that it's a one-type solution, one-stop solution for you as well as our customers. And these products are coming across various platforms, active being the most prominent one that we keep hearing about. Passive आजकल बहुत popular होते जा रहे हैं. Across the world, passive have growth has been very, very strong. My sense is we will see similar kind of growth in passive also in India along with the active. But we have along with active, we've got passive funds. We've got a very, very successful franchise from a portfolio management service, and we are also growing very, very aggressively the alternate side of business. We have launched in the past a private equity VC kind of offering. Right now, there's a private credit offering going on. So over a period of time, you realize that all your customers, whether they're small, middle class, or slightly more niche, who've got expectation of slightly more, personalized or complex kind of products, complex from the point of view of the way they are made, you can find under the same shelter of and brand of HDFC. And lastly, other than the part of how we are present and what we sell, our own this whole effort to kind of communicate in an effective manner, which in turn helps our partner to kind of take the message of the markets, the products to the investor community at large. We've got a lot of engaging communication, lot of reports which are topical, which are which come on a regular basis. Tuesday talking points, slightly interesting one are the Friday quiz. I urge you to kind of pick up that link and start. It comes every Friday in an interesting manner. It keeps you on toes and keeps checking your knowledge. Those are the kind of things we're doing. And beyond that, the regular updates which keep coming from our time on product level, fund manager meets, and a lot of webinars that we keep organizing. So at a larger level, what I'm trying to say is we have got presence, we've got production, we've got enough engagements for our partners to kind of learn, engage with us, and in turn serve the customers in a very, very meaningful manner. With that, I will end this initial briefing around the industry and about HDFC. I hope you got enough information around the broad offering from HDFC mutual fund, and a slightly more detailed one will follow in the next session. I guess Amay is already there on the panel.
Yeah, Ashish, I'm there.
Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen now and hand over to Amay. Amay is one of those. We've got these 5, 6 very, very smart specialists, young guys who take care of product communication and product management. They work very, very closely with the sales team, and for us, they are the bridge between investment and sales. They communicate to our team and the investors, and in turn, very, very closely work with the investment team. So for me, it's almost like quasi fund manager for now, and hopefully, Amay being one of my favorite, I'm sure we'll see him as a fund manager at some point of time. Amay will take care of in this session the briefing around product bouquet and also a bit about process and the market view. Over to you, Amay.
Yeah, thanks, Ashish. Thanks for the introduction. I'm just sharing my screen. Please confirm if the screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
It's visible, right? Okay, thanks, Ashish. Thanks for the brief introduction. And thank you, everyone, for taking out time to join this session on a Saturday morning. As Ashish mentioned, I'll be touching base on various offerings that we have across the equity and debt space, and we actually have a lot of offerings. So, if you come to HDFC with a particular kind of a requirement, it's highly unlikely that we won't be able to offer a product of your choice. So, it's actually a wide array of equity and debt offerings and hybrid offerings that we have. But before getting into the product nitty-gritties, it makes a lot of sense to touch base on what kind of investment process we have, what is the investment philosophy behind investing, because ultimately at the end of the day there are so many fund houses offering products in each of the categories. So how we actually manage our investments is what you need to understand before getting into the product nitty-gritty. So first and foremost, as a fund house, on the equity side, at least on the equity side, we happen to be the long-term investors. We don't adopt a momentum-driven short-term strategy. So at no point in time you'll find certain short-term trends or fads actually in getting incorporated into our portfolio. So long-term fundamentals always have a primacy when it comes to stock selection in our portfolio. That doesn't mean that we don't keep on changing the portfolio as per changing environment. So there could be times when we have selected a stock basis a long-term view, but the underlying condition, underlying macroeconomic environment, the nature of developments with that company would have changed. In that kind of an environment, we'll obviously change the stock selection, but the entry is obviously with a long-term approach. Now, basis the various research parameters, basis the various analysis that goes on from our analysts, from our fund managers, we have roughly 400, 450 core stocks in our equity universe. And now you may think that, okay, it's only 450 stocks, the entire universe is around 4,000 stocks. Isn't it too less? The answer is no, because these 400, 450 stocks account for roughly 85% of the Indian market cap on the equity side. So it's actually giving you exposure across companies across the Indian equity market universe. Beyond these companies, if we really want to add certain companies which are not part of the core universe, there is a possibility of getting those companies added. So, say for instance, a pharma analyst is of the opinion that a company which is not yet part of the core universe needs to get included. He obviously has a proper research note he'll have to construct and get it vetted by the fund manager and by the head of equities before that kind of a stock gets into the portfolio. So it's a very rigorous process for any new stock to be included.
भाई थोड़ा सा आवाज दबा हुआ आ रहा है थोड़ा सा मतलब some feedback
Sorry,
slightly louder will help.
yeah, just a second. Is it better now?
Yeah, better.
Let me know if there is a drop in the audibility.
Yeah.
Ashish sir, may I also uh, oh sorry sir, no problem. आपके
All right,
बस
please continue, man.
मैं सर बस आपके टॉप लेफ्ट स्क्रीन टॉप लेफ्ट में सर आई थिंक जूम विंडो इज कमिंग.
Yeah, I'll just close that. Hopefully, this should do. I think.
हाँ yes sir, it's fully visible now.
Yeah. Yeah, so as I was mentioning, it's a core universe of around 450 or 400, 450 stocks, or more or less in that range. We can definitely add stocks beyond that. This covers 85% of the equity market cap universe at present. And what's more important is the average experience of the investment team is close to 2 decades, and that's where we actually differentiate from quite a few fund houses, because we have people who have actually been in the industry for a long time and they have been across AMC. So you have someone like Roshi Jain, who was actually managing the focus strategies at Franklin Templeton. So she's come from there. Then you have Rahul Baijal, who's come from Sundaram Mutual Fund few years back. You have other like Srinivas Ramamurthy's come from Mahindra Mutual Fund. So we have people with diverse experience, diverse kind of AMCs that they've come from, and that collective wisdom actually adds a lot of value to the portfolio, because at the end of the day, these fund managers don't act in silos, they don't act in isolation. They obviously sit on the same floor and have a lot of brainstorming which goes on between them. Every Monday there is an investment committee meeting where all the analysts and the fund managers discuss various ideas, various trends which happened in the past week. So all of this collective wisdom is what we offer to you when we come to you with our product offerings. So when it comes to what kind of stocks do we pick, obviously what kind of parameters we consider, we focus on quality companies. Now, obviously, no investment manager will say that we don't focus on quality companies, but when it comes to HDFC, because of the kind of brand value we carry, it comes with a lot of responsibility. So when it comes to focusing on quality companies, there is actually a thorough, rigorous analysis of the financial statements. There is absolutely no compromise when it comes to the qualitative aspects as well, because the quantitative part is something which is seen from the P&L, from the balance sheet. It's actually the qualitative aspects where the fund manager's subjectivity, fund manager's hunch actually comes into the picture, because at times, in certain instances, the numbers reported may not actually uh, represent the real truth behind it. So that's where the fund managers in their management meetings, they meet managements of different companies. They take a sense of the corporate governance procedures there. They take a sense of the integrity of the management, and that is actually a very critical aspect of the stock selection. P&L, balance sheets, ratios, fair enough. That is something which is there in public domain, but it's the qualitative aspects where the professional fund managers, because of the access to management, are able to add a lot of value in terms of stock selection. Valuation discipline, this is something which we have always prioritized, even during Mr. Prashant Jain's time, a few years back. Even from that time period, we have maintained a valuation discipline. We don't believe in entering stocks at, say, 60 or 80 kind of a price to earnings ratio, even if they have a good earnings growth trajectory, because what we feel is, even if at 80 price to earnings kind of a stock, which is an expensive stock, delivers a profit growth of, say, 10-12%, there is a good possibility that the stock may not move anywhere over a 3, 4, 5 year period because of the expensive starting valuations. So what kind of valuation you enter a company at is as critical as the kind of company you enter when it comes to investment. So we are value conscious, and in most portfolios, you won't find our funds price to earnings ratio being higher than the category average or most funds in the category, be it even in small cap, mid cap, even those categories. If I may digress slightly from the topic, even in small cap fund or mid cap fund, we have the lowest or the second lowest price to earnings ratio in the industry. So you can check the AMFI website for the disclosures. We have the lowest or the second lowest price to earnings ratio in the industry, despite having some of the largest funds in the category. So that's where that actually bears testimony to the kind of valuation discipline we adopt. On the debt side, obviously, the same thesis holds, the same kind of mindset holds, but there is a different way of looking at things. When it comes to fixed income securities, it's not always about returns, right? Because when it comes to fixed income, people do want some element of some semblance of stability. So that's where we have the SLR approach, where we prioritize safety, then liquidity, and then returns. So the first priority is to safety, then to liquidity, and then to returns in the in that particular order, and that's on the fixed income side. What all parameters we consider in credit evaluation? We obviously consider 4 C's, which is a abbreviation that we have coined to describe our investment process on the debt side. The 4 C's stand for: one, character of management; second C is capacity to pay; third is collaterals pledged; and four is covenants. So character of the management is extremely critical, right? If a management has the ability to pay but still doesn't have the willingness, or is probably doesn't hold higher standards of integrity, they may actually end up defaulting on payments. So character of management is extremely critical. Then obviously the financials, the capacity to pay. Even if the character is good, but they don't have the cash flows, then how are they going to pay the debt investors? So capacity to pay is also important. And then obviously the nitty-gritties of which security you have invested in, what kind of collaterals that particular bond has, what kind of payment maturity, payment frequency, securitization, those nitty-gritties then come into the picture. So these are the 4 C's when it comes to our credit assessment on the debt side. Broader level, risk management obviously happens to be a very critical aspect of mutual fund management, because obviously everyone wants to generate returns, but the idea is at any point in time we should not let capital erode because of any risky misadventures in fund management. So risk management happens to be a very critical aspect of our investment approach. So there are obviously four pillars under risk management: two on the process side, two on the portfolio construction side. Process, compliance, and regulatory guardrails are something we obviously treat with extreme sanctity. We have a big brand name to protect. We have a that obviously carries a lot of weight in the industry, but that also comes with a lot of responsibility. The HDFC brand, which we carry, so that obviously means that at no point in time do we cut corners, do we try to take certain deviations from the SEBI guidelines, from the AMFI best practices at any point in time. Compliance uh, of the regulations is given utmost importance. Then you obviously have a robust investment process. There are analysts covering individual stocks. Every analyst will have around 40 stocks that analyst covers. And he or she will have to have a detailed analysis or a detailed backing for his or her view on that stock. It cannot be just something which is subjective that, okay, I say that, okay, let's buy this stock. The fund manager will buy. That is not the case. Every buy, sell, hold, any call on any stock under the coverage will be backed by a proper, robust uh, documentation that can be referred to at any point in time, ever in future. So that's where our investment process is quite stringent, quite robust. On the portfolio construction side, and just touch base on these two aspects in more detail. So diversification is given importance. Diversification doesn't mean just having more stocks in the portfolio. It obviously means having stocks which are not going to move in tandem with each other. So if you have, say, 200 stocks, but all 200 are going to move in the same direction with same fundamental, then you haven't really diversified your portfolio. So what we actually mean by diversification is constructing the portfolio in such a manner that you have exposure across market cap segments, across sectors, across themes, across line of businesses. And that is how we approach diversification within the mandate, within the SEBI guidelines. So obviously in a large cap fund, you cannot have mid and small cap significantly. So there obviously you can't have a market cap segment diversification, but you can certainly have diversification in sectors or uh, industries that you're investing in. Position sizing is equally important. So, say a fund is there are two funds that we have, right? There is a one fund which is say 40,000 crores, another fund is say 4,000 crores. Now, if I buy a 50 crore position in the 40,000 crore and buy another 50 crore position in the smaller fund, it's not going to have a similar impact, right? Because in the larger fund, the same 50 crores is going to make a lesser impact. So, position sizing is the impact that a particular position can make to or that a position can contribute to the overall fund's movement. So, in that sense, when you're actually building up positions, we also have place a lot of emphasis on the kind of positions we have. So, we can't have say a bullish view on a particular stock and say, and we have 0.05% of the portfolio in that stock. It has to be a meaningful position to the extent possible, or at least we should intend to create a meaningful position in that stock. So unless it's something which we are not very keen on, most of the times we'll have positions of meaningful proportion in the portfolio. So that's what position sizing is. At the same time, we don't go overboard with exposure to certain stocks from a risk management perspective. So we have to create a balance between capturing the upside and protecting the downside uh, of the portfolios. So then finally we come to our product suite. We have virtually everything, every category where we have product offering. So it's as I said at the beginning of the session itself. So it's highly unlikely that you will come to HDFC with a particular need of your investors and you may not find a product offering. So it's highly unlikely that kind of a thing happens. Uh, on the key flagship side, we have the HDFC Large Cap Fund, which was erstwhile HDFC Top 100 Fund, which has been renamed recently to HDFC Large Cap Fund. This fund invests at least 80% in large cap securities. Then you have the mid cap fund, which is a fund with a vintage of roughly 18 to 19 years, and it has been managed by the same fund manager, Mr. Chirag Siddhi, who's actually the head of equities at HDFC Mutual Fund. So that is a mid-cap opportunities fund, 65% minimum allocation to mid-cap stocks. Then you have the small cap fund managed by the same fund manager for close to 2 decades. It needs to have at least 65% in small caps, but we tend to be more true to the label. And we, in fact, have around 80% in small caps, with the rest largely being in mid caps in the small cap fund. So almost 80% small caps, another 10% mid cap, and the rest would be cash and large cap. That's the HDC small cap fund for you. It's one of the longest running small cap funds in the category. It's one of the largest as well. And as I said earlier, it has one of the lowest price to earnings ratio, which indicates lower expensiveness as compared to the category in terms of the fund. Then we have large and mid cap fund where then fund manager has to HDFC large and mid cap fund, which is managed by Mr. Gopal Agrawal. The fund has exposure between 35 to 65% in large caps and mid caps each. So between 35 to 65 in large caps and another 35 to 65 is the range for mid caps. So you get a combination of the two. No small caps in that fund. Then you have a fund managed by which was previously managed by Mr. Prashant Jain. Now it's managed by Roshi Jain, and it's one of the best performing funds in the industry, and one of the fund which has been in focus for its phenomenal performance recently. So that fund is HDFC Flexi Cap Fund. There is no restriction on the kind of companies which can come into this fund. So in that sense, it's an interesting offering. It can have large cap, mid cap, small caps. It can have any sectoral exposure within the SEBI guidelines. And generally, it will tend to have a large cap bias, but the fund by itself doesn't have any SEBI restrictions on market cap. Then you have the multi cap fund, which invests across the three segments: large cap, mid cap, small cap. At least 25% each in large cap, mid cap, and small cap, managed by Mr. Gopal Agrawal. So these are the broad funds which are the flagship fund. Then you have Focus 30 fund, again managed by Roshi Jain. Maximum number of stocks 30. No restriction on the number of companies. Another fund which you could consider in terms of its performance, in terms of its style. It has had roughly 18% non-cash exposure during recent times because of expensive valuation. So Roshi, as a fund manager, has not shied away from taking a cash call in the Focus fund, or for that matter, even the Flexi Cap fund. And then we have a plethora of sectoral and thematic offerings. So we have the HDFC Defense Fund, which was the first defense fund in the Indian industry. We have Infra Fund, Banking and Financial Services Fund, Housing Fund, Transportation and Logistics Fund, which is also one of the best performing funds in that segment. We have Pharma and Tech funds as well. And as we speak, we have the HDFC Innovation Fund, which is the NFO, which got launched yesterday. So I'm sure you would have heard about that. You would have received collateral on that as well. On the hybrid side, we have in every category, we have a product offering. We have the obviously the HDFC Arbitrage Fund, which you can consider as a proxy for liquid investments as well. So that fund can yield returns closer to your liquid fund, but with equity taxation. So that's a fund that you can consider for parking your emergency corpus. Then you have HDFC Hybrid Debt Fund, which is a conservative hybrid fund where you will have roughly 25% in equity, with the rest being in debt. It will have a debt kind of a taxation. Then you have Equity Savings Fund. So this fund is also a fund which you can consider, because although the net of hedging, so obviously you'll have 65% exposure in equity to take the equity taxation, but out of that 35 to 40% would be hedged. So practically you would have, say, only 30-35% of your portfolio in the fund being actually exposed to the equity risk per se. So it's actually a good fund for, say, an 18-month kind of an investment horizon, and with equity taxation. So that's something which is very important these days because of the change in taxation regime that we have seen over the last couple of years, where debt taxation has not been too favorable. Then you have the multi-asset fund, another interesting fund where apart from equity and debt, you also have gold into the picture. So that fund also has at least 10% or roughly around 10 to 12% exposure to gold through gold ETF. So that's another fund you can consider. It will roughly have 40%, 40 to 50% equity, net long equity exposure. Another 15% could be hedged. Then you'll have some allocation to debt and around 10-12% in gold. It will also have an equity taxation. Then you have HDFC hybrid equity, which is more aggressive, only a combination of equity and debt. And more importantly, our 1 lakh crore plus AUM fund, which was the erstwhile HDFC Prudence Fund. Now it's named HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund. So it is it's hardly highly unlikely that you will come across a mutual fund distributor or an advisor who hasn't heard about this particular fund, which is the HDFC Balanced Advantage Fund. It has three different fund managers for different asset classes. So for equity, you'll have Mr. Gopal Agrawal. On debt, you'll have Anil Mamboli, and again for arbitrage, you'll have another fund manager. So between the three of them, you have allocation to equity and debt, and within equity as well, you'll have some hedging being done to manage the risk. At present, the exposure net of hedging or net of the short position should be say roughly 55 to 60% over the last 6 to 12 months, and it still has equity taxation because the total equity exposure is 65%. 5 to 10% is hedged, similar to say an arbitrage fund. So it has equity taxation, and it balances between equity and debt. I'm sure there is one particular slide purely on that as well, going ahead. If we do get time, we'll touch base on that. Then on the debt side, we have offerings across duration-based and thematic offerings, overnight liquid for your short-term parking funds. Then you have ultra short-term funds for investment between 2 to 6 months. Then your money market fund, short-term debt fund. Short-term debt fund has a duration between, we call it duration between 1 to 3 years. Then you have low duration fund, up to 1 year kind of a duration. Medium term debt fund between 3 to 4 year duration. So you have basically offerings across the duration buckets. Depending on your investment horizon, you can consider various funds. On thematic side, wherein there is no restriction on duration, there's a restriction on the kind of papers a fund can have. So on the extremely high quality side, you have HDFC corporate bond fund, which will have less of credit risk as compared to some of the other funds mentioned there. It is one fund that you can definitely consider. It is also one fund which is part of our income plus arbitrage fund of fund, which is, I'm sure, a fund you would have heard about. Then you have banking and PSU debt fund. You have credit risk debt fund. Credit risk obviously carries a higher risk because it invests in lower rated papers. But even in credit risk debt fund, we happen to have a track record of some of the lowest defaults in the industry. So there was a time, say in 2018-19, where bulk of the industry faced a lot of default post the ILFS crisis. We as a fund house faced one of the lowest delinquencies or default rates in the industry purely because of our conservative fund management, even on the debt side, on the credit side. Then you have Guild Fund, which invests in government securities of longer duration. So that is a fund that you can take, consider whenever there is a good possibility of interest rates coming down. You can play duration and make returns from that portfolio of Guild securities. But you should have a reasonably long investment horizon, because in the short term, because of higher duration, there could be some volatility. And then we have few solution-oriented offerings. We have a children's gift fund. We have a retirement savings fund. So obviously, other funds can tend to various goals, can help you meet various goals. But when it comes to these two goals, planning for your children's education, planning for retirement, these goals are some goals which actually cannot be compromised at any point in time. So what we have thought is, if you have a goal-based offering, it's highly unlikely that you will stop your commitment, you stop your SIPs in these kind of funds. If I maybe plan for my children's education through, say, a flexi cap fund, there is a possibility that it's at some point in time, maybe if I'm buying a house, I may use that fund. But if it's in a children's fund, mentally there is a goal attached to that particular fund. So I will there is less propensity of me exiting that fund or stopping SIPs in that fund. Both these funds come with a lock-in period of 5 years. The fund of fund side, we have fund one is asset allocated fund of fund, which is similar to your multi-asset in terms of the kind of asset class exposure that you have. But in multi-asset fund, you invest directly in the fund invests directly in equity securities and debt papers. In asset allocator fund of fund, as the name suggests, it will invest in underlying HDFC schemes. So, for instance, it won't invest in say Reliance Industries or TCS or Infosys for equity exposure. It will invest in HDFC large cap fund, HDFC flexi cap fund, HDFC small cap fund to varying degrees, to varying percentage, and likewise on the debt side as well. It will invest in corporate bond fund and other uh, debt funds of HDFC. There are two ways of looking at it. The HDFC multi-asset fund will give you equity taxation, so any investment held for more than 1 year is taxed at only 12.5%. For asset allocator fund of fund, because it's not an equity fund, it has a different kind of a tax regime. So you'll have to hold for at least 2 years for that to qualify as a long-term capital gain. So anything beyond 2 years is long term for HDFC Asset Allocator Fund or fund. For multi asset, anything beyond 1 year is long term. And obviously, the long term tax in both the cases is 12.5%. But what Asset Allocator Fund of fund does offer is it offers you exposure to different fund managers' investing style through a single fund. So when you have, say, a small cap fund, large cap fund, flexi cap fund, which are ultimately part of the asset allocator fund of fund, practically you're having exposure to 300, 400 stocks managed by 3, 4 fund managers. So that's the benefit of diversification which this particular fund gives. And then you have the income plus arbitrage active fund of fund, which we launched recently, which ensures that you don't end up having a debt taxation, but at the same time you have returns of uh, corporate bond fund and an arbitrage fund put together at this point in time. So you'll have around 30-40% exposure to arbitrage, which automatically means that it doesn't have debt taxation, and the rest would be in varied debt schemes. At present, the remainder of debt allocation is largely on the HDFC corporate bond fund side. So this is definitely a fund that you can consider for your debt investments at this point in time when the debt taxation per se has become unfavorable. So this fund actually helps you to tackle that taxation challenge. And then obviously we have a lot of passive offerings. I won't get into the details due to paucity of time, but we have almost an entire bouquet of passive offerings that you may consider. So Ashish, depending on the time, you can let me know if we can go to the question and Q&A session, or probably there are a few other slides on fund specific details. You can take a call on that.
Ask few questions. The
Yeah.
flow was nice, so I didn't want to stop you because you beautifully captured the whole investment process, risk management, stock selection, or the security selection rather. We are obsessed with equities these days, so we keep saying stock selection. Essentially, it is security
Absolutely.
selection, and beyond that, very good brief on our investment team also, and the choices of style and personalities that we bring on table. So you can continue. I have few questions lined up.
Yes.
While you are ending the larger theory around our process and products, do capture the current state of market and also the backdrop of the way global developments are happening, and then I'll have a couple of questions for you.
Sure, sure. So I think I've touched base a lot on the fund side without getting too much
Yeah.
details of individual funds. I'll touch base on the macro part of it right now. So macroeconomically, obviously, you would see that every few days or every few weeks there is one conflict or the other which flares up here and there. But so that may make your investors jittery. You may get questions from your investors asking, "Oh, what exactly is Trump going to do? What exactly is going to happen with the tensions in the Middle East? Should I invest or not?" So the answer to that is simple. So all these things, if you look at these things in hindsight, none of these things have actually made a difference. Ukraine, Russia, it was supposed to flare up into a big energy crisis. Nothing of that sort has happened. You have oil prices still at 60, 70. Even after that Middle East conflict, they still didn't reach the $100 level, which everyone dreaded. So what it shows is that there are adequate checks and balances in the system. And more importantly, from a long-term investor standpoint, all these things actually don't make a lot of difference. So it's almost like you are playing a 50-over game, and there is a maiden over or two. You really don't have to throw your wicket in the next possible over, right? Because you have a 50 over, you will still get good overs to score run. So you don't need to do anything stupid or foolish just out of fear of not being able to score in a particular over. So there could be period where there could be some short-term volatility, but from a long term, none of these things have made a difference. If you look at last 30-year history of India as well, there have been numerous negative developments within India, globally. But over the long term, the economy has grown at roughly 7-8% on a real basis, 12-13% on a nominal basis. So your equity markets have delivered returns of roughly 15 odd percent CAGR. Some may have delivered more, some may have delivered less, but the index by itself has delivered 15 odd percent, 14-15% over a longest time frame. Now, coming to what you need to actually watch for is the kind of valuations that you get into or get from any particular segment at any given point in time. So, at this point in time, large caps are trading roughly close to the long term average. So, nothing to actually look beyond that actually. So there will be certain segments at lower valuations as well, certain at higher, but largely it's close to the long term average. No froth per se. On the mid cap and small cap side, the segments are trading at a 30 odd percent premium to the long term average. So say for instance, previously it traded at say 22 ka price to earnings ratio. Now it's trading at 27. So you can say that okay, it's trading at a 25-30% premium. Now, does that mean that there is extreme froth in that market? No. It means that you need to have ample caution with the kind of fund managers that you choose in these segments. If you look at the AMFI disclosures, every month there is a disclosure which goes on the AMFI website. You just Google small mid cap AMFI risk parameters on Google, you'll be taken to that page. Many people are not really aware that there is that kind of a disclosure. But that disclosure gives the price to earnings ratio of different small cap fund, different mid cap funds. Our fund happens to have the lowest price to earnings ratio. That is critical because in an expensive market, the price lower the price to earnings ratio, better is your downside protection. So that is something you can bear in mind or consider in the mid and small cap space where some caution is advised. Again, from an SIP standpoint, there is nothing to worry about because SIP investment obviously don't need to take into consideration any short term volatility. So that's on the valuation side of things. Beyond that, you don't really need to get into too much details on what's happening with the trade deal. The trade deal deadline is, I think, around the corner. So obviously, a few days leading up to that, if a deal is not struck, there could be some volatility in the market. But it's also highly likely that a deal could be struck before that, or that 90-day pause period on the tariff will be extended by, say, another 30-40 days. So mostly you don't need to worry a lot about all these things. What you need to actually look at is the kind of fund houses that you select. Most people actually use a lot of their time and energy in selecting funds or fund managers. I would suggest you need to spend a lot more time on selecting the fund houses and the kind of philosophy that those fund houses have. So if you are with the right fund houses, all these short-term momentum driving factors won't make a lot of difference to you. So Ashish, I think, yeah, any questions from your end, more than happy to address.
Yeah. So my the most prominent one is because there are few questions which came up on chat box and
Mhm.
very interestingly, and this has happened in the recent sessions also. A lot of people have asked about SIF, uh,
Mhm.
and which is good that people are very eager to know new things
Mhm.
and it's a new platform. But in some ways also slightly as I was like it was a surprise to me because most of the people who are here are starting off and
Mhm.
so while we'll encourage people to know more about SIF and before plunging into it because it's a slightly complex category of product and we will handhold you through training and everything as and when we come.
Absolutely. Mm.
But assuming that these people and these partners will be building the business as going forward, what are the kind of things they should keep in mind from the point of view of the kind of advice to the customers from a product selection perspective view, and what are the kind of things they should be doing from a do's and don'ts point of view when they are recommending schemes or selecting products for their investors, keeping in mind the new partners
SR.
in mind.
Uh, but from an SF standpoint, or you're referring it to it from a mutual fund standpoint in isolation?
So broadly
Um,
around asset
Broadly.
allocation and scheme
Okay.
selection, you covered it a bit, but I'm like
Hmm.
specifically if there are,
Sure. Sure.
plethora of choices, if you can
Hmm.
reduce it down to maybe five, six of them, that will be great for
Absolutely.
all of us.
Absolutely. So, uh, if you're looking at a short-term investment horizon of say a 3-month kind of an investment horizon, you can have a straightforward investment in HDFC arbitrage fund, which obviously will give you returns close to liquid fund returns. And that's a fund that you consider for parking your short-term corpus. Then, if you move higher up the bucket, say up to 18 odd months kind of an investment horizon, you can invest in corporate bond fund, uh, banking and PSC fund, those kind of funds as well. But you can also consider a new product offering which we launched. It's basically a repositioned fund offering, which is the HDFC Income Plus Arbitrage Active Fund of Fund. That we have. It invests in a combination of arbitrage and debt schemes, but it gives you a favorable taxation. It doesn't hold you back with the debt taxation. So the taxation is pretty good in that sense. So anything about 2 years is taxed at 12.5%. So any 24 months plus kind of an investment horizon for a risk averse investor, that can be the case. When it comes to the equity side, you can consider offerings like flexi cap fund, focused fund, depending on the investment horizon of the investors. You can also have for the relatively more less for the relatively less risk averse investors, you can consider say a small cap fund as well. So a combination of say a flexi cap fund, large and mid cap fund, and a small cap fund. Three funds managed by different fund managers. Flexi Roshi Jain, large and mid by Gopal Agrawal, and small cap fund managed by Chirag Satilwar. These three funds put used in conjunction give you like access to the entire market space, and by three fund managers with different investment styles. So these funds can be considered. From an asset allocation standpoint, you have our multi-asset fund, which is obviously a good fund. An asset allocator fund of fund, as I mentioned earlier, I mentioned that difference between multi-asset and asset allocator fund of fund. These two funds you can consider because they give you asset allocation across equity, debt, and gold. Need to be mindful of the difference in taxation between the two. Multi-asset has equity taxation.
Yeah.
Uh, Asset allocator has a slightly different taxation. The holding period is longer in that case for that to be classified as a long-term investment. So you need to be mindful of that. Both those funds could be considered. So this is primarily, I would say, the bread and butter of your core components of your investor's portfolio. And then you can probably, for the tactical part, if an investor wants to have an exposure to banking at this point in time, then you can give a banking and financial services fund or something like that. But your core will obviously be the fund that I mentioned just now: flexi cap, large and mid, small cap. Hybrids, may you can have multi-asset asset allocator. For short-term parking, you can use arbitrage to park your short-term money.
Yeah, I think the idea is to have a core of choices for yourself so that you can learn more about them more, go more vertically deep with those categories, and you'll be able to track
Absolutely.
better. And you picked up the whole asset allocation part, the hybrid part also, which I think actually is a in some way like a multi-asset fund to me, or has always been a one-stop solution and advice,
Absolutely.
because it kind of bakes in advisory, scheme selection, asset allocation, all in one product category, and the experience for those kind of product will be somewhere in between from a performance point of view. But I think from a purely mathematical return point of view, but I think from a journey perspective, I think multi-asset fund to me makes a lot of sense. So you concur with that?
Absolutely. It's a one-stop solution.
Absolutely. And there's one question, I know paucity of time. किसी ने पूछा है ये थोड़ा सा इंडेक्स फंड कैसे काम करते हैं? मतलब I can try and give an answer, but while you are here, why should I bother? I'll trouble you.
Absolutely.
थोड़ा सा
Absolutely.
बता
So
दो.
yeah, so like you are aware, every active fund is benchmarked against an index, right? So you would have flexi cap index against a 500 Nifty 500. You would have a large cap fund indexed against a Nifty 100 index. But when it comes to active funds, the idea is to outperform the index net of expenses. Now, when it comes to passive funds, there is a plethora of passive funds which are basically mimicking the index. HDFC Nifty 50 index fund will mimic the Nifty 50. There is no idea or objective to outperform or underperform. There could be slight difference on account of expense ratio and tracking error, but it will largely mimic the performance or replicate the performance of the Nifty 50. So what it will do is it will pick the same stocks in the index in largely the same proportion or exactly the same proportion to the extent possible at any given point in time, and let you invest in that. So it basically allows you to invest in the index. It doesn't ask you to look for outperformance or expect underperformance. It will mimic the index in question. So you have various indices from BSE and NSE that you can see on the screen to the left of your screen. If you want exposure to particular index, don't expect outperformance. आप बोल सकते हो हमको outperformance नहीं चाहिए, but हमको exact index का return लगभग चाहिए. So you can go for index funds. They'll on the rebalancing date every 6 months, they'll rebalance as per the underlying index changes. But the fund manager, even if something goes wrong with a particular fund, there is a extremely catastrophic or a bad news about a particular stock in the index, the fund manager will not eliminate that stock. The fund manager will continue to hold that stock as the index weightage mandate. So that is something you need to be mindful of. So there is no discretion on part of the fund manager or the fund house when it comes to index funds. So that's, I think, as simply as I could put it. If Ashish, if that helps.
No, brilliant. I'm like, I was uh, uh, hoping for same answer only. Good that you explained in a way which I think people understand. If I can take just one last chance with
Absolutely.
you, Amay,
Yeah, sure.
and it's slightly more topical one.
Mhm.
We keep talking about SIP. Investors have taken shine to it,
Mhm.
and it's obviously the right way to do it. Someone
Mhm.
just asked, and I think the idea is not to create confusion, but to kind of put it out and have your view on it. That there's a lot of chaos and noise on the social media, and people keep hearing SIP सही है उसके
Mhm.
सामने भी there are counter argument. What would you say to
Mhm.
those people who are not a big votary of SIP? What would be your counter to that?
See, the answer, my simple counter question to that question would be: are you someone who can keep on timing the market right
Yeah,
every single time?
yeah,
I think in 99.9%, if you have an honest answer from yourself, you'll say the answer is no. You can't time the market every single time. So if you
yeah,
can't time the market 100% times, I think the answer is simple. You need to go for SIP. If someone is saying that, oh no, I can time the market every single time without any error, then obviously आप lump sum करके entry exit कर सकते हो. But I don't think there is any investor or anyone who can actually time the market every single time. You can, even if you go wrong once, it's going to erode your performance substantially. Even if you get it right 3 times out of 5, the remaining 2 times is going to knock the returns out completely. So the answer is simple. You need to go for SIPs. Uh, there were some articles, some industry comments which cherry picked the worst possible time for SIPs,
yeah,
wherein the SIP was started at the peak valuation, the peak of the market, exited at the bottom of the market. Obviously, then
mm,
you cherry pick, then in those kind of instances, you're going to get suboptimal returns. But even in
yeah,
those instances, we had done the
yeah,
research. If you had continued with that SIP for another 6 months, the picture changed dramatically. So, in fact, we had released a note as well on the small and mid cap segment SIP investing dilemma in small and mid cap investing. We had covered this aspect as well. So,
oh,
you take the worst possible time. You will say, okay, 2% रिटर्न बना SIP से मैं क्यों करूँ? आप वही
yes,
पीरियड 6 महीना और एक्सटेंड करोगे SIP, the return was roughly 15, 16, 17% CAGR. So some
mm,
of the people, obviously, to discourage SIPs, cherry pick the worst possible period, distorted facts to an extent. We'll not get
yeah.
into that, but purely from an honest standpoint, let alone that we are representatives of HDFC Mutual Fund, even if you were my friend, I would say the same thing. You need to go for SIPs when it
Yeah.
comes to equity investment to have the peace of mind in equity investing.
Brilliant. In fact, in your initial part of the answer, you kind of captured what I would have thought about from a counter argument or a discussion point. Is that, and this is own self-realization by mistake, you are a better proponent of investing, so you'll relate to it.
Hmm.
So I'm not downplaying your skill sets, your education, or anyone's else. But I think
Absolutely.
I think in investment, discipline plays almost equal, if not more part than knowledge, right? I'm not downplaying
Absolutely.
any capability part, but I think disciplining part is so much important. And when you said if timing the market is nobody's skill set, I think it's no one's skill set. Best of the then how do you bake in the discipline in the investing? I think SIP does that. Uh, it might or might not maximize your return, but I think it surely disciplines you, which I think plays a much larger part than knowledge and information in your journey, or rather luck. You kill the luck part of your
Exactly.
investment through doing SIP. So that mostly is my answer. But I think you picked up the very right noise. I think which people can take to the investors. With that, more questions, but I think we'll keep on answering during the rest of the session. I'll take few, and there are few we will record and maybe come to you after the maybe in the early next week. But thanks a lot for coming
Sure.
over, helping the new partners. आई होप सभी पार्टनर्स के लिए वैल्यू एड रहा होगा. खाली एक है था कि कुछ लोग बोल रहे थे कि थोड़ा सी हमको ये स्लाइड्स अगर हम कंप्लायंस से अप्रूव करवा के भेज सकते हैं तो मल्हार सार्थक दैट्स ऑन यू. If you can get this thing compliance approved to be shared, we will do that and you inform all the participants accordingly. Thank you,
Okay.
Amay. Get on with your rest of
Thank
the
you.
weekend. I hope it's a happy one.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for
Thank you.
giving me the opportunity. Thank you. I'll just log off.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Akansha, you can hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, lovely. Thanks for coming over, always helping us with these sessions. This is an important one. I've already set up the kind of context to what you will be presenting. Partners, digital का importance हम अपने life में अपने business में काफी ज्यादा देख रहे हैं, बढ़ता जा रहा है. For HDFC also, our whole offering around building multiple digital assets and tools, it has been ongoing one. It has taken much more faster, shape of execution in the recent times, reflecting the times that we are living in. Akansha will broadly take you through our whole digital suite of products, more than products, more the tools and the assets that we have built, and with a specific focus on our partner app as well as our Connect app. कनेक्ट ऐप का लिंक मल्हार ने पोस्ट करा था. आई होप यू हैव डाउनलोडेड इट. आप बाद में भी खुद उसको क्लिक अपने आप प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं. आकांक्षा विल स्पेंड क्वालिटी टाइम ऑन व्हाट दिस होल ऐप इज ऑल अबाउट एंड द अदर डिजिटल एसेट्स आल्सो.
सर तो लिंक मैं वापस पोस्ट कर दूंगा एक बार.
ओके.
Just a slight gap, sir. Kansha joins us as a, just unka, it is her habit. She is due to speak for us in some time. और अभी रिया session ले लेगी, sir.
ओके. ओके. All right. Oh, Akansha will be taking the customer service one.
Correct, sir.
Yes. My apologies, Akansha. I hope I didn't scare you.
No problem. No, you scared me, Ashish.
Riya would have said, "Chalo, ठीक है, मेरा काम हो गया. Let me have an extended weekend." So Akansha will take care of the last session. My apologies, partners. I went on my trip. Riya is the partner in crime for this session. She is from the digital team. Akansha is from customer service and distribution team. So my sincere apologies to them and to you for creating this confusion. That was not part of the plan. Riya, over to you. The backdrop is the same. You are the expert. Please take it over.
Thank you, Ashish. So, good morning, everyone, and it's a pleasure to see you all. So, in this session, we shall explore the digital and the marketing tools that are required to grow the business digitally. So, let's get started. Is my screen visible?
Yes, Riya.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so these are the cycles that we will cover in the following slides. It's a step-by-step guide to grow your business digitally, right from, targeting your investors to selling to customer service and eventually cross-sell, upsell. So let's get started. As you all know, in today's world, having an online presence is no longer an option, right? It's essential. Why? Because customers are increasingly getting influenced online. So, as I always give an example in the session, that we all went to theaters to watch a movie earlier, right? But now most of the movies are launching on OTT platforms. Why? Because it is convenient and you get access to a wide range of content on your fingertips. So similarly, in the mutual fund industry, as a distributor, you guys need to thrive strong relationship with your clients. But how do we ensure that these relationships grow in today's digital world? Or probably, how can you leverage digital? So you need content to educate your customers. You need resources to simplify your day-to-day business and processes, and you need automation to save and reduce your manual effort, which is where Connect plays a very vital role. So it's a platform which is there to cater your needs as a distributor, so you do not have to struggle in setting up everything with on your own on Connect. So we have already done the heavy lifting for you, so all you need to do is just use the tools that are provided to you. So this is where Connect is a platform which can cater to your needs, and we have certain feature sets on Connect which will help you expand your business digitally. First, we have a personalized microsite. So it's a free website that you get when you register for Connect. So it acts as your digital identity. Then we have the social media content, which is a ready to use content. It's pre compliance approved content that we publish on the Connect app, which you can then share on your social handles to engage with your audience. Say it, let it be Instagram or LinkedIn, Twitter, which we now call it as X. So all these platforms can be or WhatsApp. All these platforms can be leveraged to share the content and engage with your investors. Next, we have the email marketing, which where you can launch bulk email campaigns in just few clicks. We will be coming in the upcoming slides. I'll show you how exactly you can do through Connect app. Next, we have the digital business card, which is the Digi card that we call it, where you can share your business profiles through WhatsApp, which can make you easier to connect with your prospect clients. So DigiCard is available in the form of image. Available in the form of PDF with a clickable link, and it is also available in the video format. So it's a very interesting feature to connect with your prospects. So not only this, we also offer co-branded videos and posters to help boost your engagement. So we also have an inbuilt CRM on the Connect app where you can nurture your leads, track your activities, and manage your tasks. And we also have a digital diary where you can save all your requirements. Next, this phase is to sell the products to your existing and new investors. So after increasing your customer base, we have various solutions in place to initiate a transaction, to do a KYC, to create a folio. So all this is available through our MF Online Partners, which is our transactional portal. We have recently launched e-card facility a few days back, wherein the distributor can add up to 10 schemes, 10 of purchase, 10 of SIP, which means 20 items can be added in a single card through a single payment mechanism. So from a point of view of payments, we have all the payment options in place, such as net banking, UPI, NEFT, RTGS, fund transfer, OTM, existing OTM. You can register an OTM. So all these facilities are available on our MF Online Partner portal, the web version and the app version as well. So all these transaction related activities can be catered out from there. And also we are coming up with the WhatsApp facility for distributors. We had it initially, but we are revamping the entire journey. And now distributors will be able to initiate purchase and SIP and also generate account statements through WhatsApp. We will intimate you once the services are live. Then next we have is the one-click facility. It's a AR and hard-coded facility wherein the distributors can generate transaction links without logging into the website. So I will guide you the perks of this one-click facility in the following slides. Next, we have the API gateway, which is more for evolved distributors, which primarily means that, if you have your own website or an app, and if you want to integrate our transactional journeys, you can do it through our encrypted APIs. Our team will handhold you in terms of how this integration can be done. So, if any such requirement, you can reach out to your respective RMs. Moving on, this is what I was speaking about, the one-click solution. So, like I mentioned, it's primarily AR and hard-coded, which means that, investors cannot modify the transaction link which is generated by you at any given point in time in terms of the AR and EUI piece. It's a web version of the one-click facility where you can use it without login. You can initiate transaction types such as purchase, SIP, switch, and redemption, which is very easy, and at your convenience you can share this transaction link on WhatsApp, email, and SMS. So this link is perpetual. It does not get expired at any given point in time. If you generate the link now, investor transact on that same link, and if the investor wants to reuse it again after a month, 2 months, the same link can be reused. So that's the basic perk of the one-click facility. Moving on from selling to servicing, we all know that distributors have a long reputation of great customer service. But if we all want to prevail in the digital era, you guys need to make more of it. Like you will have to make life easy for your customers, which is why we have certain services at your fingertips. So distributors can send account statement, capital gain statement, and there are various other statements like exit load, dividend IDCW statements, etc. from our online portal, which is available on MF Online Partners. We also have various NFTs in place for each of our customers. So some of it includes contact updates, nominee update. Distributors can register e-mandate on behalf of the investors, etc. And we also have transactional support in place, which can help you track your transaction status in real time. For example, if you have created a purchase link and you want to understand whether it is in the proposed state or investor has initiated any action on it or it has been rejected. So all these statuses are very much available on the distributor portal dashboard on MF Online Partner app and portal. So yeah, these are the screens to let you know that we have updated the features on our distributor portal. This is the view of the distributor dashboard, which is something new and revamped, and you will find various engagement activities that can help you connect with your investors. We, like I mentioned, we have the e-card facility, we have SIP UPI payment mode for SIP transactions, we have Flex SIP. So all these are part of the distributor MF Online Partner assets. So next, moving on, once we have a substantial client base, you can run mass multi-channel campaigns, and which is what we call it as ad SIP campaign or scheme-wise SIP campaign, where you can send these campaigns to a predefined set of your investors. Then we also have analytical modeling, where you can drive specific modeling for your clients based on the propensity to buy model. And we also run mass transactions through reports that we provide on MF Online platform. So yeah, these are some of the screens of the Connect app where you can increase your engagement by initiating transactions through a buy now link, which is primarily AR and hard coded. You can send investment proposals with calculators where you can engage with your prospect clients. And more importantly, we also have a digital marketing course on Connect for you with a certification where you can enhance your digital marketing knowledge. So to understand in detail, we can, take a separate session to understand more about the Connect app and its functionalities. There are two more feature sets on Connect, like I mentioned previously, to run mass email campaigns. This is one of it. We call it ad SIP campaign. where you can execute the campaign in 3 steps. So we have shown the steps here where you can execute the campaign in just 3 clicks. You open the Connect tab, you see a Add SIP tab on the dashboard. You click on that, you will be previewed with the investor listing. This is the predefined investor listing that is already available under your particular ARN. Investors with SIP is something where your investors already have an SIP and want to add one more. Investors without SIP are such investors in your ARN that have never done any SIP, or they have probably done in lump sum or have just created a folio. So such investors are tagged under investors without SIP. And other contacts is a campaign where you can just send the campaign through WhatsApp on or any other social media platforms where you can gather the prospect investors under your ARN. So if you click on any of the one campaign, you will be previewed with the creative as to what creative will go to the investor. This creative will be embedded with a buy now link, where on the click of the CTA, the investor will be able to view the transaction and complete the transaction. On click of the send now button, your email will be sent to the respective predefined investors. Next is scheme-wise SIP campaign, very similar to the SIP campaign what I mentioned. Again, 3-click journey, wherein you log into the Connect app, you view a Add SIP with Scheme tab on the dashboard. The only change here is in the previous campaign, we used to show the investor listing first. In this campaign, basis on the feedback that we got from the distributors, we have listed down individual schemes wherein the distributors can initiate scheme-based campaigns. So suppose if I take Balance Advantage Fund here as an example, you click on that particular scheme, you want to run a campaign for Balance Advantage. On click of that, you will be previewed with the investor listing, wherein the investor listing is categorized based on 3 types. Scheme specific SIP investors, wherein the investors have an SIP in Balance Advantage and want to do a top up. Other scheme SIP investors, which means the investors have SIP in some other scheme, not in Balanced Advantage, and want to do an SIP in Balanced Advantage. And last investor listing is investors without SIP. What I mentioned is that investors have a lump sum investment, or they have just created a folio and they want to start their wealth creation journey through SIPs. All these investors are tagged under investors without SIP. So this listing is available here. The distributor can click on any of the one campaign to send out. On click of that, you will be previewed with the creative here, and on the click of the send now button, the creative will be sent successfully to the list of investors. And once you've sent the campaign, and next day or day after 2, when you come back to the Connect app and see the count of the SIPs that have been added, you can view that count under the section, the red box that is available on the right top, where you can see all the conversions that you cover from the scheme specific campaign. Last but not the least, we have a robust support channel that can help you in support related activities. For Connect, we have specific online training for hand holding, for enablement, wherein you can, if you want to link your business pages like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, our representatives will help you in guiding through the entire journey. We also have a dedicated support line for email and WhatsApp. For any queries and support requirement, distributors can reach out to us. Can reach out to us on email at hdfcmfconnect@mutualfundpartner.com. We also have a WhatsApp number wherein you will get the services in the real time. You can just type anything on WhatsApp on 9041769041. Our representatives will help you in terms of any requirements, services, or feedback that you have. Next, we have MF Online, wherein you can write to us on email at mfonlinefeedback@hdfcfund.com, and our representatives will help you in guiding you through your requirement. We have a co-browsing facility wherein in real time distributors can share their screens and our representatives will help you in the troubleshooting wherever you face any issue. We have a toll free number where again distributors can call us and set their requirement or provide any feedback or concerns. And we have a missed call facility wherein distributors can give a missed call and our representatives will call you back for your requirement. In terms of analytics, like I mentioned, we do analytics on propensity to buy model. If you have any specific requirement, you can please reach out to your RMs. Yeah, also we have a repository of content for you. I know Ashish might have told you in the previous session as well that there is a repository of content that you may refer on the distributor corner of the Connect app, where you'll get all the content right from topical days to generic content on investment, product specific content. We have mutual fund fact sheets and much more. So yeah, before I wrap up, I just want to emphasize one thing that Connect is more. Sorry, you're saying something, Ashish? I can't hear you. I'm sorry.
Ashish, your mic may not be working. If you could. No, sir. So very slightly, sir.
Okay, generally doesn't happen with me. I'm mostly loud. Am I audible now?
Better, much better, sir.
Okay, okay. No, no, apologies for intervening here. Ria, go back to the earlier slide. Yeah, this one. इसका path हम बता सकते हैं क्या Connect में? Where can they find in the Connect app?
It's right on the dashboard, like you can see on the left hand side. Once you log into the Connect app, on the dashboard there's a second icon here, distributor corner.
Distributor corner.
Yeah, this is specific for only those distributors which have been a part of the Udaan program. Everybody will not have an access to this.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Or Priya, there's a request already. I've seen more than one specific training on Connect. I think
Yes.
we'll need one. I think this. My own view is that to use any app, including Connect, just one round of training. I mean, like its idea is to have some regular sessions so that more than one time people attend and they can then experiment on their own. Then only they'll be able to kind of take full advantage of it because you learn it over a period of time. So we'll request you to kind of share the calendar so that we can in turn share the same with the partners.
Correct. I'll do that.
Okay. अच्छा एक और चीज पूछ सकता हूँ रिया मैं अपने यहाँ सारे partners they're all the new to the industry and a lot of things that you're talking about campaigns yeah adhesive I'm assuming most of our partners will not have ready customers in the system already, right? They'll be acquiring new, right?
Yeah.
So for those partners who will have once they will build a book, then they can engage and cross sell and everything. But to build the business, what are the features that they can count on from a point of view of whether WhatsApp, emailing, that CRM feature we have, and the whole idea of having a microsite itself to engage
in
customers.
The initial stages to gather investors, they can use DigiCard as an option to promote. Then we have email campaigns that can be sent across investors. We have WhatsApp as a campaign. Then we have auto post as a campaign where they can post content on their social media accounts to gather investors. So all these primary features that are available on the Connect app will help target investors and gain engagement also.
So if they have a set of email addresses of people known to them or potentially who can be investors and similarly WhatsApp, they can run campaign through the Connect app, right?
Yes. That's okay. A part for distributors who already have connects with investors, prospect investors, but they can use social media platforms, to engage with prospect clients, be it from the north, south, east, west, the entire universe, right? Anybody can just, come to their distributor pages and be a client by
and I keep hearing you guys post other than the product content and the presentation and the very market related communication. There are a lot of topical thing that you keep like posters of the day and
Yes.
Something topical around ye karna chahiye ki nahi karna chahiye, which people might find it engaging. So those are the
Yeah.
kind of things which keeps appearing on the Connect app, right?
Yeah, we have even event-based creatives also, when, so in terms of
Okay.
any festivities, we do send out, wish campaigns, and in terms of any specific event like Independence Day, we do run emailers, quizzes, and all that is a part of the topical day campaigns that we publish
Okay.
on Connect app.
All right.
So it becomes
And
more
he
engaging for the
Connect
distributors
app
to
के
come.
अंदर I think Mr. Surya Prasad, I think if I got the name right, he asked, I know all the partners can create their own microsite, right? In which their details are captured. He asked, can I capture my email, my postal address also? I think yes, right? The answer is yes, right?
Yeah, so just to let you know, all the personal information of the distributors is captured from the KYD.
From the
So
KYD.
yes, so we do not
Okay.
allow distributors to edit any personal information apart from their address, office
Okay.
address. Yeah.
Okay. So what their address will captured or get captured automatically?
No, distributor has to input the address.
Okay, so they can, to that
Yes, yes, they
extent, they
can.
can. Okay.
Yes,
So I think
yes,
that
yes.
Mr. Surya Prasad, I think you asked that question. Can I give my address in the section? I think this kind of answers. And this will get captured in the Digi card also that they get, which they can send to the customers.
DigiCard, we do not provide address in the DigiCard
Okay.
because, yeah, so we have trackable links there which can
Okay.
redirect to the microsite, and microsite will publish all his personal details along with the product information, because
All right.
then it will get very much text heavy on the DigiCard itself.
I know,
Because,
I know, I know, I know.
yeah,
Fair enough.
that's the
Fair enough.
reason.
All right. Yeah, I think there's enough to chew. एक साथ information का overload भी नहीं करना. But my request to you is that there's enough interest on gaining more information and training on it. So if
Yes,
you can share the calendar, that will be great. There's one suggestion if I can give through this.
sure,
I think
sure.
this came via one of the session only. Just to check if our partners are ready, and I will encourage our partners to kind of not just through us. I think there'll be tools available outside also. How digitally ready you are in terms of there are quiz and questionnaires and surveys, and you'll be surprised while we are all staying in the digital world, but from a business perspective and engagement perspective, हमको पता पड़ेगा कि हम लोग बहुत कम ready हैं. हम मतलब like me as an individual, you as individual, that while we use WhatsApp and everything, but from a preparedness point of view to commercially engage and do any meaningful activity, we might not be as digitally ready as we might be thinking. We are the user of the digital tools, but whether we are using them for building an ecosystem for us. So I'll encourage you, and in fact, that's a request to Ria. You also, you can consider creating this quiz or a survey which helps giving a score to the partner that how digitally ready he is, just to kind of make them aware that how much more can be done.
Sure. So we also have a survey that goes out as a CSAT, DSAT. It's a primarily DSAT is the survey that has been taken out for the distributors, wherein
Right.
client services and digital they initiate. Yeah, we will look into it definitely.
Lovely. We'll work with you. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Yes, yes.
For
Just one thing.
us.
So before wrapping up, like I just want to say to the audience that Connect is not just a platform; it's a complete solution. So where you
Yeah.
can grow your business and engage with your clients, and you can also save time. So
Right.
I would strongly recommend everyone to download this app and start exploring its features. I have linked the QR code here on the screen, and trust me, like if you use it diligently, it will transform the way you work. So yeah, that's it from my end. If you have any specific
And it's
queries,
free. It's free. It's good. It is free.
yeah, yeah, more importantly, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you can reach out, and we are here to support you in every step. That's it. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time. Yeah.
Thank you from everyone. I think the partners would have found this session useful and helpful. You get on with your day and the weekend, Ria. As usual, we'll keep coming to you for more such sessions, and specific requests that come in. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Akansha, you can hear me?
Yes, you are audible. Am I audible?
Yeah. So I'll not request you to present the digital tools, which I was attempting earlier. I think I will let you stay true to your, skill sets and strength zone. So Akansha is part of our servicing, customer servicing, digital servicing, function. Uh, and she's been part of many of our past sessions, and she'll take you through these two major aspects of how we serve our distributor, which is like AMC serving the distributor, and the second aspect of how you in turn serve your customers. And there are various features and functionalities which are there in terms of various tools, mailback thing, and what you can access on the web, and she'll take you through that. Very, very important to serve the customer. Over to you, Akansha. If I'll surely have few questions along the way. I'll keep you busy.
Sure. Okay. So thank you so much, Ashish. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you to our HDFC family. So today we will be covering one of the most important topics, which is service. So one second. Yeah. So we will be covering investor and distributor services. So in investor services, we will look into our reach, RTA, avenues for investments, investor onboarding, NFTs. In distributor service, we will be covering distributor compliance, RTA portal, mailback, key information on distributor earnings, etc. So this is our pan-India presence. So in 2024, we had 254 branches and business centers. In 2025, we opened 25 new locations. So that's 25 in 2025. Now we are currently present in 279 locations in total, 280 locations of camps all over India. So our RTA is SCAMS. SCAMS has a technology-driven financial infrastructure. It's been in the market for over 25 years now. It serves approx 70% of the AUM. CAMS also serves customers through a variety of touchpoints such as pan-India network of service centers, white label call centers, online mobile app, chatbot. Also, it has 6 back offices, 3 data centers, 7,000 plus employees, and 280 customer service centers. Also, CAMS is India's leading and fastest growing qualified RTA. So let's dive into investor and investment services. So what are the avenues to transact? So the first one is one-click link facility. So basically, ये one-click link facility होता क्या है? You as a distributor will fill all the details for your investor in case उनको purchase करना है, SIP करना है, आप सब details उनके लिए fill करोगे और एक link generate होगी. You can copy paste that link and send it to your investor. Investor वो link पे click करेंगे. Once that link opens, he needs to enter his PAN number. He will receive an OTP. He will enter the OTP. And once the OTP is entered, he will review all the details that you have filled, whether it's correctly filled, सब कुछ बराबर है या नहीं, and then he can just click on proceed to pay. This is as simple as that, and the transaction will be processed. Second is, of course, stock exchange, NSE, BSE platforms, MFU portal, and offline physical form भर के आप कोई भी nearest branch में जाके submit कर सकते हैं. So there are two types of investors. One who can be new to the mutual fund industry and one who is an existing investor. So if he is, let's look into new to mutual fund investor. So if he is new, you have to either do the KYC online or offline. Online Aadhaar-based journey is done through SRI AMC. Offline physical form भर के आप AMC में submit कर सकते हैं. All the documents has to be self-attested, and these are the 5 KRAs: CVL, CAMS, CARVI, NSE, and NDML. These are the officially valid documents: passport, driving license, Aadhaar card, voter ID, job card, letter issued by the National Population Register, and any other document as notified by the central government. इनमें से आप कोई भी डॉक्यूमेंट पैन कार्ड के साथ सबमिट कर सकते हो एज एन OBD. फॉर्म्स वगैरह एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल ऑन आवर वेबसाइट. इन्वेस्टर सर्विसेज फॉर्म्स. Now let's look into if your investor is an existing in mutual fund industry. So unka KYC already hua hoga. So there can be 3 status that would be visible to you. Either he is KYC validated. If he is validated, well and good, you have to do nothing. You can invest in any of the mutual fund. If his KYC shows as registered, so in this case, you will only be able to transact in those mutual funds where he already has a folio. So existing में ही आप कर सकते हो, नए mutual fund company में आप नहीं नया folio open कर सकते. Third one is KYC on hold. In case his KYC is on hold, then please remediate it. वापस document submit करवा के उनका KYC validate करवाइए. SEBI circular dated 11th August 2023 as a risk management framework advised that KYC registered agencies shall verify following attributes of KYC. तो जब भी आप फॉर्म भरोगे KYC का, प्लीज इंश्योर कि आप एकदम क्लियर, नीट एंड क्लीन लिखते हो, सो दैट द KRA कोई भी ऐसा डेटा एंट्री एरर, A का B, C का D, कुछ भी ऐसा गलत ना हो. इसलिए ये सब डिटेल्स लाइक पैन नंबर, नेम, एड्रेस, क्लाइंट का मोबाइल, ईमेल आईडी एकदम क्लियर हैंडराइटिंग में लिखिएगा. दिस इज रेगुलेटरी फ्रेमवर्क. So first is KYC. So for KYC, we will require KYC form, PAN card, any OBD document which we just discussed on the previous slide. Photograph चाहिए होगा, investor का signature on the form, and all the copies has to be self-attested. Supplementary KYC, it is a part of the KYC form only and captures details like gross annual income, net worth, occupation, PEP, etc. FATCA and CRS is also a part of the KYC form. It basically captures the place of birth, country of tax residency, etc. And UBO, which is only supposed to be filled if you're filling it for a non-individual. UBO details, UBO can be an individual, but आप उसी केस में भरोगे अगर आप KYC फॉर्म एक non-individual के लिए भर रहे हो. So who can invest and who cannot? Individuals, HUF, sole proprietors, companies, trusts, societies, FPI, NRI, OCI, PIO, minors, everyone can invest in HDFC mutual fund. Who cannot invest in HDFC mutual fund is United States person as defined under the extant law of United States of America, except if that NRI or PIO holder is in India, he can invest. Residents of Canada cannot invest. NRIs residing in any FATF declared non-compliant country or territory also cannot invest. Some of the key reports, of course, first one being statement of account, sub transactions वगैरह investor को statement of account में दिख जाएगा. Capital gain or loss statement, exit load statement in case investor wants to redeem and wants to see कि मेरा को कितना exit load लगेगा, तो ये exit load statement आप download कर सकते हो. STT statement, securities transaction tax statement है ये. And there are many other reports also, and all the reports you can download from camsonline.com, investors statements. यहाँ से आप सब reports आप download कर सकते हो आपके investor के लिए. Non-financial transactions, आप either you can do it from HDFC, our portal, MF Central से भी कर सकते हो, या service request form submit कर सकते हो nearest branch में. For modification in existing KYC details, investor can do it through HDFC MF website. अपडेट KYC ऑनलाइन भी आप अगर KYC किसी को अपडेट करवाना है तो हमारे वेबसाइट पे जाके कर सकते हैं. These are some of the common non-financial transactions, which is contact details updation, FATCA details updation, nominee updation, change of bank, consolidation of folios, etc. In case investor wants to get in touch with us, they can either SMS us, they can email us on our Hello ID, they can call on our call center numbers, or visit us at the nearest branch. This is one of the most important circular जो just अभी 1st of June से effective date है इसका. Basically this is on nomination. आपको कुछ चीजों का बहुत ध्यान रखना है. First thing being जो रिवाइज नॉमिनेशन फॉर्म हमने वेबसाइट पे अपलोड किया है वही प्लीज यूज करिएगा. पुराने फॉर्म्स मत यूज करिएगा. अभी कुछ मैंडेटरी डिटेल्स है जो हर एक नॉमिनी के लिए भरना पड़ेगा. सो फर्स्ट वन इज नेम ऑफ द नॉमिनी, उनका परसेंटेज, रिलेशनशिप विद इन्वेस्टर, रेसिडेंशियल एड्रेस, ईमेल एंड मोबाइल नंबर और आइडेंटिटी नंबर. बेसिकली या तो पैन कार्ड का नंबर लिख लीजिए या तो आधार कार्ड का नंबर लिख लीजिए. यहाँ पे आपको खाली नंबर लिखना है, उसका कोई कॉपी वगैरह कुछ अटैच नहीं करना है. इन केस नॉमिनी इज अ माइनर तो डेट ऑफ बर्थ विल बी रिक्वायर्ड. गार्डियन का नेम एंड रिलेशनशिप इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. Other key points: investor can choose to display nominee name on SOA. Nomination request submitted with thumb impression of any unit holders to witness is required. So अगर वो thumb impression दे रहे हैं तो उनके 2 witness भी required है. वो nomination form में available है, so आप वो देख सकते हो. So now let's look into distributor services. First one, smart letter. हमने smart welcome letter roll out किया था from 1st of December 2024 onwards. This is why do we call it smart welcome letter? Because यहाँ पे अगर आप right hand side में वो image देखोगे तो हर एक का QR code embedded है और इससे आप खाली scan करके पोर्टल पे जा सकते हो. जैसे HDFC MF पार्टनर पोर्टल का है, ARN हार्ड कोडेड ट्रांजैक्शंस का है, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए QR कोड है. सो that is the reason this is called as smart welcome letter, and it is more personalized and reflects our mission and vision. So some of the key distributor points: EUIN. So valid EUIN to be given with each and every transaction. In case अगर समझो आपने गलती से कुछ EUIN गलत लिख दिया, for example, तो आपको 30 days of from the transaction date आपको वो रेक्टिफाई करवाना पड़ेगा. ARN रिन्यूअल 3 मंथ से ज्यादा प्लीज उतना गैप मत रखिएगा. अगर आप 3 मंथ्स तक वो एक्सपायर रहता है और 4th मंथ पे आप चले जाते हो फिर आप करते हो तो आपका ब्रोकरेज फोरफिट हो जाएगा. Declaration of self-certification, it is to be submitted annually by distributors. Online submission through Amphi website हो जाएगा. DSCs need to be submitted for the last financial year by 30th June of the previous financial year. MFD as a joint holder. So in case if you are a joint holder, so without intimation, it is not allowed. And also keep in mind that you will have to give a declaration if you want to be a joint holder in any of the folio. So this is these are the few key features of H360, which is very very nice portal. I think Riya ने भी यही बताया आपको. Brokerage, AUM, investor portfolio, transactions, reports, recon, CRM, ये सब facilities available है H360 पे. This is the mailback facility that CAMS give. Basically अगर आपको कोई reports चाहिए जो आपको ट्रिगर हो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल एवरी मॉर्निंग एट 9 AM. सो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू, यू हैव टू गो ऑन दिस पोर्टल camsonline.com, डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स, मेल बैक, रजिस्टर. दिस इज जस्ट अ वन टाइम रजिस्ट्रेशन प्रोसेस. आपको आपका ARN नंबर डालना है, आप वो OTP देंगे और आप कोई भी आपके रिपोर्ट सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो जो आपको ऑटो ट्रिगर होंगे आपके ईमेल आईडीज पे. कोई भी 2 यूनिक ईमेल आईडीज होने चाहिए, तो 2 ईमेल आईडीज पे आपको वो रिपोर्ट्स एवरी डे trigger होंगे. So there is WBR2, which is transaction report. 1 being the NAV report. 46 is NIGO transaction. 49 is SIP STP related. 39 is scheme details. 22 is AUM. अब there are many reports. So आप कोई भी reports trigger
अच्छा,
कर सकते हो. Yes, Ashish.
what's NIGO? I've seen this in the Excel sheet, but what are these transactions?
Which one?
The NIGO you said, na? NIGO.
Okay, NIGO is basically, for example, आपने एक purchase transaction दिया yesterday को, but उसमें कुछ detail missing है. For example, there is some mandatory field which is not filled by you, so that is kept on hold. That is basically NIGO. वो transaction hold पे होगा. तो आप
Okay.
check कर सकते हो कि ठीक है, समझो अगर ये एक transaction मैंने कल दिया था और इसका समझो मैंने PAN number फॉर्म पे नहीं लिखा है, पर वो मैंडेटरी है, तो वो हम मेल करके हेलो आईडी पे वो रेक्टिफाई करवा के वो प्रोसेस करवा सकते हैं.
Alright. But the transaction is put on hold till then?
There is a time period where like probably till 12:31 p.m. it's kept on hold. Also in this case आपको branches call करेंगे.
Alright.
Distributor
Okay.
receives a call also from the branch
Fair
in
enough.
case of
Alright.
any of the NIGO transaction.
Alright. Please continue.
Yes. Okay. So next is again mailbags. These are few mailbag के important reports है. WBR 46 which is rejected transactions, ये आप मतलब एक important report की तरह consider कर सकते हैं, because in case if you have submitted few transactions today and tomorrow अगर वो नहीं reflect हो रहा है, तो आप before like किसी को call करो या you send an email, you can directly download WBR 46 and just check कि कोई reason से reject हुआ है क्या. So that is like very handy. So these are few of the reports. Key information, the most common question asked is how do I get my brokerage? So आपने जो बैंक डिटेल रजिस्टर किया होगा ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ एम्पैनलमेंट, वहां पे आपको डायरेक्ट क्रेडिट होगा. When do I get brokerage? हमारा साइकिल है between 6th to 10th of every month. Mostly हम 7th of every month कर ही देते हैं. कम्युनिकेशन ऑन रिलीज ऑफ ब्रोकरेज, SMS भी भेजेंगे, स्टेटमेंट भी आपको ट्रिगर होगा, मोबाइल पे भी होगा, ईमेल आईडी पे भी होगा. अगर आपको कोई भी क्वेरी है ब्रोकरेज रिलेटेड, समझो मेरा ब्रोकरेज कम आया है या कुछ आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि कुछ ठीक नहीं है, तो यू कैन सेंड एन ईमेल ऑन helpdistributor@camsonline.com or partners@hdfcfund.com. These are few important reports on brokerage earnings. So consolidated brokerage payout details. ये सब brokerage related reports है which you can download from CAMS. So distributor services, in case if you want to update your bank details in broker records, so basically आपको खाली एक request letter along with आपका cancel check copy आप दे सकते हो. In case if you want to transfer or merge of AUM है, तो you have to see AMFI website, उनके prescribed formats और documentation है AMFI website पे, वो आपको submit करना पड़ेगा. In case of change of broker, so in case if you want to change of broker करना है आपके कोई investor का, तो आप वो कर सकते हो, but you will receive brokerage only after 6 months of the change of broker. Nomination, of course, it is highly recommended to give nomination for distributors and also for your investors. And ये सब forms are available on our website also, Distributor Corner पे forms. In case if you want to get in touch with us, every distributor will be assigned a relationship manager. You can directly pick up the phone and call them and ask any query if you have. You can also send us an email. You can call us on our call center number or visit our nearest branch. So with this, we end the session. So our MD and CEO, Mr. Navneet Munot, truly believes that each and every investor and partner is our brand ambassador. And to realize our vision of being the most respected asset manager, it's critical that we delight them with a deep sense of humility and service. And our mission to be the wealth creator for every Indian and vision is to be the most respected asset manager in the world. So thank you so much, each and every one, and all the very best for your journey.
Thank you, Akansha. This was brilliant. I keep learning few things. Servicing and all these part are not my key strength, but every time I listen to you, there are few things I ended up picking up from this.
Oh.
Just one thing which I can also convey. The distributor, I think this might be a bit of this slight news to you also, Akansha. Now we have built a mechanism, and hopefully, our partners will see on the partner portal, and later on in the Connect app and the partner app. Under the profile section of the partner, they will be directly able to see who's their mapped RM or the other contact details.
Oh,
So
that's
that will
great.
kind of
Mhm.
that will kind of help them, because I keep getting a lot of queries during today's session also. कि हम नए आए हैं, हमारा RM हमको पता नहीं है, because sometimes these things take time, and a lot of our partners nowadays are getting onboarded digitally pure. So the interface starting point is not the branch or the RM. Once the RM is mapped over a period of time, they'll be able to see the details of their mapped RM on the partner portal and Connect app itself. So I think that is one thing we should also capture. There's one
Yes,
thing which I
correct.
just texted Subit. Subit is part of the team that Kansha and these people kind of lead all the servicing related matter, is something related to the compliance part on the mis-selling part. We've been talking about it. We've shared the FAQs, but maybe one slide we can add, Kansha, next time, specifically on mis-selling and generally fraud. Avoiding those kind of practices, which I think regulator and the mutual fund body in generally are become very, very concerned about, as more and more investors are coming. So the responsibility of all the stakeholders, including our partners, is much more, and to sensitize them on the this aspect is very, very important. So we'll include that and we'll sit with you and work on that. Akansha. Thanks a
Absolutely,
lot.
absolutely done. Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks a
so much,
lot.
Ashish. Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a great weekend, and next time when you're coming, maybe you'll present the digital section.
Sure, I will. Definitely.
All right.
Okay.
Someday it will happen for sure.
Sure, done.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, have a good weekend, and partners. I'm like, this kind of is was the last end of the session. If you can stick around for another minute or so, while Malhar and Sarthak post the relevant links, specifically the survey one. Malhar, you do that. Your feedback is important. I will just take another maybe minute, if you allow me, because this is something I use for mostly whenever I've been meeting distributors over a period of time. There are few things which I've learned about the business and the feedback I've got from good partners. Sarthak, Malhar, just let me know if my screen becomes visible. I'll just.
Oh, yes,
दिख रहा है
sir.
ये? हाँ?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Visible.
Okay. So while you kind of do the honors of saying bye-bye and posting the relevant links, partners, मेरे खाली आपसे just last few lines. You're new to the industry. We wish you very, very well in terms of your commercial success, as well as the kind of good work you will be doing, and we'll be your partner and we'll work together with you. But just to kind of sum up this session, and also what are the kind of things that you can keep in mind, which should encourage you, which should kind of excite you, and which should also caution you in some way. Just a minute on this. So I think we captured from an opportunity perspective the way the industry has grown. potential is amazing. The last 30-40 years, specifically the last decade, has been magical. My sense is it will continue. It will have its own up and downs. No market or no business is very linear. But from the point of view of the metrics which are there in terms of the growth of the economy, the participation in general of retail customers, and the larger financialization story and digitization. So potential is amazing growth. This business has very long longevity. So I mean, while you might or might not have immediate success, because it depends from each person to each person. Have patience. The longevity of the business will ensure that once your initial efforts, starts paying off, the jockey, what we call is the hockey stick curve kicks in, where uh, uh, you know uh, the growth kind of picks up. Once your efforts start paying in, and you get a compounding impact of your efforts in terms of your nature of clients and the nature of size of the business, which brings me to the point that compounding, the way it works for the mutual fund industry and for the investor, it obviously will work for you also. So a lot of your small investment and small investors over a period of time, over a decade time, or more than a decade time, will start looking very big, and in turn they will contribute very significantly to your commercial success. And as I said, beyond the growth potential, the penetration is still low, so the runway to growth is very high. The longevity of the business is very high. So this should keep you excited. This was the backdrop that we spoke about. Few thoughts on how to build it. I think one of the things that you have kind of started doing is getting empaneled with manufacturers. I am assuming beyond mutual fund also you will be associating over a period of time. So associate with quality, and resilient player. We at HDFC think we are one of them, and sure we will be leading one from the manufacturing side. So pick up people. I would say like HDFC, we will do everything to earn it. तो अच्छे लोगों से आप एसोसिएट होइए. Keep nature of the business is very long term, so build very long term sustainable business practice. Short term obviously will have its own fun and immediate benefit, but do things the SIP way. As we said, हमारी अभी जो campaign चल रही है, हम सब investors हैं. Essentially, if you see everywhere the hoardings, which is part of our I think our investor awareness campaign is, we live life SIP. हर दिन छोटा छोटा काम करते हैं, and then for everything at work, for our kids and our business, and then you grow it together, grow it slowly, and make it big. So similarly, build long-term sustainable business. Do small things right. One thing which I have learned specifically at HDFC very critically is that while there is a lot of hype, and for the right reason, about digital business and the digital solutions, but India and this investment business is thoda sa tangibility. There's no tangibility. The products are all Excel sheet में आता है, website पे आता है. It always helps if you can grow business digitally as well as physically. Physically, when I mean is like have those relationship build over a period of time. Have a lot of interaction in person also alongside serving. So serving, communication, engagement can happen on digital. But while a lot of your advisory, we're saying that combine both physical and digital part of the business. I think that will help us. That is helping us also. We said the number of branches that we are opening year on year, despite the fact that we are investing very heavily on digitally also. So I think that same message I want to convey, that grow both part of business. Digital will help you serve and engage and execute. I think the physical part of your engagement with the customer will help you better in terms of advisory, building trust, and the long-term association and the relationship that you will need. As I said, small efforts today, big rewards tomorrow. हम लोग जिंदगी एसआईपी में जीते हैं, तो बिजनेस भी एसआईपी में बनाना पड़ेगा. छोटे छोटे एफर्ट करेंगे तो वी विल ग्रो very robustly, strongly. We keep saying that word. Rome was not built in a day. Similarly, business will not get built in a year or time. So longevity of business है, but उसके साथ effort भी छोटे छोटे लंबे समय तक करिए. And very important part, I think, which I've been highlighting through the session is stay compliant. This is a business of trust. HDFC as a brand is known for its resilience and trust. And I think it is important, beyond the fact that it is the right thing to do. I think it is a very smart thing to do, is to build trust, stay compliant, don't take shortcuts. Some people do, and I'm part of the business where our efforts are there to check a potential mis-selling which may or may not be happening, but also wherever it is happening, we are intervening. It is still very low, fortunately, but very few bad incidents are required to kind of break the trust. So at your own individual level, stay extremely and compliant, because it is a good thing to do and it is the right thing to do for both business and for the investors. And lastly, few learnings in terms of the having the kind of mindset that you should have for success. We keep in our business. I've been part of few businesses, including a startup, and when we are starting off the business, everyone writes goal and vision, and a lot of people think it is for the heck of it, right? कि यार कुछ वेबसाइट बनाना है तो गुड गोल एंड विजन लिखना चाहिए, but then you realize over a period of time that having a goal and vision which you deeply connect to kind of helps you drive your efforts. And over a period of time, आपके जो efforts are in line with your goal and vision, your customers and the counterpart, including competition, appreciates you more, and it becomes very commercially beneficial also. So have a formal goal and vision while you might be individual or having a small setup, but it's good thing to have those kind of slightly, if I can use the word, lofty in some way, but in the real way, I think I would say it is a very practical thing to do, and it also helps in aligning your interest with the investor's interest. Stay calm in adversity. Our business is of markets which are very volatile. Specifically, equity markets are extremely volatile. We have had a very good run for the last 10 days, और उसके कारण से हमारी assets भी बहुत grow हुई हैं. You have come at a time when markets have already done well. Over a long period of time, they will continue to do well. But there is a possibility, not a possibility, you can assume or be rest assured that there will be corrections, and this is not just equity, this is across asset class. So staying calm in this adversity should be your second nature. बहुत सारे हमारे, मैं देखता हूँ हमारे partners आते हैं, and it's like some of them are seasonal. They become seasonal because they come with the intention of seeing the very recent, recency bias होता है, where you see किसी ने business शुरू करा, उसको फायदा हुआ, मैं भी कर लेता हूँ. But then the nature of the business is very volatile for short duration of time, and those kind of partners don't last. And they lose out ultimately, despite the fact that long term, the market will do well, you will do well. So my request to you would be, stay calm in adversity, make it your second nature to staying calm. In fact, that is one of the job that is required of you, because investor will not be as knowledgeable, and my assumption is he will expect that from you, or at least I would say that this is expected from our side, that we as a manufacturer and you as a partner to the investor, will manage the emotional part of the customer very well. As I said, keep making progressive improvement, छोटे छोटे काम. वो आज के लिए कोई बहुत बड़ी book hit हुई है, Atomic Habits, and there are a lot of other these Japanese philosophy books which we keep hearing about these days. Essentially, it is what you keep doing very small effort. Like there's a 1% theory that keep improving 1% every day, and if you can do that, you will be a transformed person within 90 days. So while that is good on theory, but in some way it is a reflection of what is expected for us, that छोटा छोटा काम दिन भर हम करते रहें और बढ़ाते रहें, improvement करते रहें. I think that will help us a lot. Keep it very simple. Our business might be complex, market might be complex, but there are very few things which you need to do correctly, and that itself will kind of take care of your business requirement and your client requirement. Complexity is the nature of the business, but once you kind of realize how to keep it simple and do the very, very obvious thing. And when I say obvious thing, you can learn from the peer group. There are distributors who are in business for 20, 30 years. Interact with them, contact with them, meet them over a group, and you learn from them. And you'll realize that so many of the big ones who are today, they've done very, very simple things over a long period of time. I think that's what, if you can keep in mind, I think that will help you a lot. गलतियां कम करनी है. Our business is all about, as I said, trust. One reflection of maintaining the trust is not making mistakes, and which is where the staying compliant part, doing few things but doing them right. I think that will come handy. गलतियां कम करेंगे automatically, उससे बहुत बड़ा benefit हो जाएगा. You may or may not do a lot of big thing, innovative thing on a everyday basis, but on a day-to-day basis, the focus should be on doing the right things first, and making less mistakes. I think that itself will take care of a lot of expectation from the business, from the investors. And lastly, which our CEO keeps saying, that beyond this commercial entity that you have formed for conducting this business, there is this larger, slightly more karmic and philosophical, journey that you have started, which is of wealth creation, not just for yourself but also for your investors. Finally, हम लोग दोनों मिलके हमारे investors के लिए ही काम कर रहे हैं, and helping them in attaining their objective, giving stability in their life, making them more prosperous. I think beyond what you and we as a business will make commercially, I think there is also element of doing a very, very noble thing. So just be proud of what you're doing, and keeping all these things in mind, I think you will all do very, very well. And finally, I think the investors will do very well with you. So thank you so much. I thought these were the things I wanted to share as a signing off thing. Do share your feedback. We'll come back with some of the questions that we have not answered, and we welcome you formally in the journey of wealth creation for yourself and for your investors. Thank you so much.
So मैंने फीडबैक फॉर्म एक बार वापस पोस्ट कर दिया है. So I will just like to let everyone know that we would appreciate if you could give us your feedback, please, as we know, like, you've all attended the session on a Saturday morning, and uh, and we wish you luck in your journey with us. And yeah, thanks everyone.
All right. So, bye, Malan. Bye, Sarthak.
Bye, sir. I will just be ending the meeting within a minute.
Okay.
तो आप सबके लिए मैंने बस लिंक चैट बॉक्स पे खोल के रखा है. So yeah, Ashish, I'll take care of that.
All right. All right. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.